For Southwest Tech, excuse me, for November 18th, to order. First time on the agenda is welcome and public comments. Seeing none, we will now have the consent agenda. First item are the minutes of the RGB full board meeting Monday, October 21, 2024. Motion? I'll move it.
Second.
Second, motion and second. Any changes, adjustments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Second, payroll warrants, 10:15 and 10:17.
No move. Second.
Motion and second. Any questions on the payroll? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And vendor warrants, 10:14, 10:16.
No move. Second.
Motion and second. Any questions on any item on the warrants? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Okay, in your Dropbox, you have the cash flow revenue expense treasurer's report. Okay, committee reports, finance.
Yes, Finance Committee, met this morning to go over the budget. We've met twice with Rebecca now, and, we are working towards, some options to present to the board on the December 9th meeting. Pretty much it, missed anything? Keep it like that, short and sweet.
Thank you. Okay, policy, Asher?
Thank you, Ken. Last week, we had our policy committee meeting wherein we discussed policy 6190C, holiday observations programs, and having it be replaced with a new district equity policy that would incorporate a lot of what's found in the holiday observations policy. And I believe we are updating it to 6191C, that I believe each of you will find in front of you that we are going to be warning later in the meeting. We also discussed a number of different policies. The latter two, C5226 special ed and C6000 curriculum development, we did not get an opportunity to discuss. It was a full agenda, although next policy committee meeting, we're going to be discussing these two and potentially others. We did discuss the first three under discussion, and that's all for policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, other action items. You all have a copy in your folder of this concussion management. It's in a blue sheet, so it easily stands out. Now, this is for adoption, not warning. Okay, do we have a motion to accept this policy?
So
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We've had enough time to look at this, like we say, it's been warned. Does anybody have any additional questions, changes? Okay, all in favor of adopting this concussion management policy, raise your hand. Aye. Okay, thank you for your work on that, Asher.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, now, we're gonna warn policy 6191C equity, which is gonna be replacing our holiday observation. But again, there's no warning, not an adoption. There's still time for changes. Okay, we have a motion to a warn.
Second. Third.
Okay, motion and a second. Again, if you have any comments, just bring it up to the policy committee. It doesn't have to be warned, should be adopted next meeting, it can be moved up. Okay, motion, all in favor? Aye. Okay, again, thank you for your work, Asher.
Of course.
Program tours. Do we have the tours now or finish the meeting?
Well, the Pre-Tech Foundation students aren't in class until 10:24. So what we could do is I could do my superintendent report and then we can head down to the programs. Does that sound?
Perfect.
Okay, so in front of you, you have a few items. First one I want to talk about is titled the Southwest Tech Tours and Shadows. What we did is we collected data over the past few years around, events that we have offered here at Southwest Tech with the goal of exposing, hopefully more and more students to our center and the career pathways that we offer. So you'll notice in 21-22, that was right after, COVID. So we had about 70 students from Mount Anthony come over. Some of them did in-person tours as well as a video tour of Southwest Tech. In 22-23, we were able to expose a total of 332 students to Southwest Tech and the career pathways that we offer here. And those included things such as a general tour, an exploration day, a shadow day, or we offered a career scene investigator event for area 5th grade students. That all took place in 22-23. Last year in 23-24, you'll notice we expanded some of those events and added new ones. Last year, we were able to expose 703 students. And again, that included things like the general tour. Last year, Southwest Tech was the host for the annual Sophomore Summit, which was an event that used to take place at SBC, I believe, for years, and then COVID hit, and then it didn't happen. But we were able to host it last year. We do plan to host it again this coming year. Last year, we also did continued with the general tours for both 8th graders and 10th graders. We did do what we call a motivational tour for a middle school student that needed to see that once they hit high school, the opportunities that they would have available here on campus, and the importance of passing all of their classes in order to gain access here at Southwest Tech. We also did some shadow days, program shadows. That's an opportunity for students to come rather than just participate in a general tour. They come and they sit in class for 2 hours with other students within a program that they think that they might want to apply to. So it gives them a more in-depth look at a program that they might be interested in. And then, of course, we also had the 5th grade event last year that we offered out on our front lawn, where 5th graders from area elementary schools came and they were able to stop at each exhibit. Each program had an exhibit out front that students were able to participate in. So this year, we plan to continue all of our general tours, hosting the Sophomore Summit, provide motivational tours as requested by sending schools, program shadows, and of course the 5th grade event. What we plan to add this year, because if you notice, at least those that were in Finance Committee, our enrollment has dropped some. Yet we've offered more and more opportunities for students to come and visit Southwest Tech. So someplace there's a disconnect. What we've decided to do this year is offer it's called Partners in Success Luncheon. And that is a luncheon that's going to happen on December 4th for all of our sending school counselors. They will be invited here to have lunch in culinary from 11:30 to 12 o'clock. And then from 12 o'clock until about 2:30, they will rotate through all of our programs. That's a half day here. So that afternoon, they'll rotate into each of our programs. Each teacher will give a 10-minute lesson plan around what types of IRCs, college courses, and a sample lesson plan that they typically would provide to their students in their program, so that the school counselors at our sending schools have a better idea of, what types of topics each career pathway covers, what types of college credits and IRC students leave our programs with, as well as a better picture around matching students to programs. So we're going to attempt to do that this year, December 4th, which will happen just before school counselors typically meet with each student to schedule for the following school year for their courses. One of the things I ask teachers to do at the beginning of the school year is to keep a notebook of positive phone calls home. I did ask teachers to make at least one positive phone call home every day and keep track of that. I think so many times schools call parents and parents answer the phone and think, oh no, what did Graham do today?
That happened.
But I think, just as important are those positive phone calls home. And the goal is to get the word out about, the type of school and the opportunities offered here at Southwest Tech. Because calling home about something positive that Fran did during the school day, or the leadership skills he has shown in his program, are just as important as calling home for a disciplinary reason. So my goal is to make sure that people in the community are talking about the great things that Southwest Tech does here. As soon as you call a parent to talk about a positive thing that their student did, then they go to work and say, hey, I got a phone call from my, building trades instructor, and the word gets out. We've also started the Southwest Tech Updates, which is that newsletter that I talked to you about at the last board meeting. You have a copy of the November newsletter in front of you for you to take. I've also been sending the newsletter out to all of our sending school counselors, and administration at sending schools. Again, to spread the word around what our programs are doing and what Southwest Tech as a center is doing as a whole. So I'll continue to do that. We're also working on Nicole Sauer, our outreach coordinator, is working on a Flex Career Pathway Exposure event. MAU schedules all of their students for what's called a Flex Block. And she is working with the director of curriculum over at MAU to have Flex students come here during one of their Flex blocks to hear about the various career pathways that we offer to students here. Flex classes are for students, they're a mixed group, mixed grade. So in each Flex block, there's 9th graders through 12th graders. So she'll talk a little bit about pre-tech foundation classes as well as potential career pathways for students. So we're hoping to touch more than 703 students this year with adding some of those additional events. Some of the updates from Southwest Tech in your Southwest Tech update. The programs are bustling with hands-on learning and career prep. Law enforcement students are practicing de-escalation techniques and exploring lawful arrests, while video and TV students produce the Class Act series, partnering with local media. If you haven't watched the Class Act series that the video and TV production students have created, it's definitely a must-watch. You can find that through YouTube TV, the Southwest Tech TV channel. I've been able to watch each episode And I'm just, you know, it's remarkable the techniques and the skills that students have developed from episode to episode. It's really great to watch. But they have a special Halloween episode that's good to watch. Culinary arts, for record, you know, so they're busy focusing on Thanksgiving pies right now. Human Services seniors are gaining paid childcare experience while juniors prepare for their pre-apprenticeships. Medical professional and area medical facilities, and they're also celebrating college acceptances. Work-based learning is connecting students with job shadows and career resources, and adult ed programs in welding, massage therapy, and tractor operation are thriving. Graphic arts supports school initiatives like the Bistro 1761 menus, which they do every week for culinary arts, and the Class Act logos they're working on for video and TV production. While their Bennington 250th coloring book was added to the state curriculum. So that's a huge win for the graphic arts program here. Advanced manufacturing and building trades students are engaged in high-skill projects from laser engraving to cabinetry and sheds. Programs are continuing to showcase student talent, career readiness, and community engagement. That is the end of my presentation.
We reach out to Grace Christian.
Yes, Grace Christian students have been enrolled here the past 2 years.
How about homeschools? Are anybody getting?
And we also have, we actually have, do we have 5 homeschooled students this year?
I believe so.
I think last year we had 2, 1 or 2, and this year we have 5.
Thank you.
Yep. So if we want to,
You want me to just do a 5-minute report?
sure.
Okay, I spoke with the superintendent last meeting afterwards, because I used to work in Massachusetts, and the state of Massachusetts gave McCann Technical School, which is a school similar to ours in North Adams, $3.1 million to build a brand new building for HVAC, plumbing, and heating. Now, last week, we were down in Adams on Sunday, and we stopped by McCann, and you wouldn't believe, 5,000 or a gigantic building. It's really beautiful. So what I asked the superintendent is, you could put a letter together from the board. Now, again, this is up to you if you don't want to do it, you want to do it. Requesting the governor, lieutenant governor, and all our representatives, our 2 senators, and like Mr. Cochran and Mary Morrissey, and all will send a copy of this to them, asking if they could put in this year's budget $3 million to help support a building here on campus. Because every time you listen to the governor and everybody else up there, they keep saying, oh, we need more solar panels, we need more heat pumps, but we don't have the people to install them right now. And according to what I read, half the electricians and plumbers in this state are 50 years old and older. So we really need some training for these individuals at a place. Now, Massachusetts also outfitted with all the latest equipment on electricity, plumbing, and heat pumps. So what I'm asking the board for their approval is that if we can put a letter together to that group of people, including this one, to show that other states support, asking them for their support, if that would be okay.
Are you asking for a move?
Yep, second it. Third.
Third? Any negative? Anybody can?
I'm fully in favor
Good idea.
of this, and I've
Okay.
mentioned in the
All in
past, my
favor?
desire for this kind of education.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. That's all I have.
Maybe we're trying to see if you can team up or collaborate with CCD too.
Cool. Well, the other thing is,
For enrollment purposes and all this. So,
this was online, I mean, some of you may take it seriously, but I don't. The state of Vermont just opened 2 temporary shelters for 5 months. They're spending $3 million to retrofit these buildings for 5 months, it's $600,000 a month. So I find it hard for them to turn down a $3 million request for training for our young people and, you know, actually we could use this for evenings too. Stuff like that. Okay, that's all I have. So if there's nothing else, we can adjourn motion and then commission.
I was gonna say, you want the tours as part of your minutes, though,
Yeah.
don't you?
Well, we don't adjourn, come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.